This is your weekly YouTube channel audit livestream. All you need to do is use the correct link in the description, fill out the form, and we'll consider your channel for review. That's right, channel reviews are free, but you can send us a super chat and watch us discuss your question live on air. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We will share with you our knowledge, experience, and passion as fellow YouTube creators. I want to give a massive shout out and thanks to our moderators who do an awesome job every single live stream. And that's your onboarding done. What channels have you brought us this week?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to vidIQ, where today we are looking at your channels you've been submitting on the form down below. If you haven't, it's not too late to do that. And quick announcement, if you are, one, an American, and two, monetized on YouTube, I hope you've been saving your 33%, give or take, for taxes, because today is tax day, which is just great. Show of hands if that's you. Actually, just show of hands if you... Nah, we'll stick with that one because it's going to get confusing really fast. Taxes are already confusing enough. You don't need me surveying you with random questions. Let's bring in Rob, who doesn't do taxes, at least today. Hello.
What do you mean? I don't do
today,
taxes.
Right? It's not taxes.
It's actually April the 5th, so it was not far away, but way to put everybody in a good mood, starting with taxes at the beginning of this channel audit.
Yeah.
Dan, you are looking today breathtaking, if I don't say so myself. And I have a huge announcement that is not only going to rock your proverbial socks, but it might rock your literal socks for you regulars out there. But I'm going to tease it for now and reveal it at some point in the future. Even Dan is not aware of what I'm about to announce.
I'm not.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Okay. Well, great. I didn't realize we were going to just jump right into blackmail today, but that's awesome. I will prepare myself for...
It's got nothing to do with that, Dan. Nothing to do with that at all.
Nothing to do with that. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. We have a whole bunch of channels we have pre-selected. By that, I mean like 4 or 5. And then we are going to be going into random selections. So buckle up for that. Any other things before we get started?
I don't think so, Dan. I think we're ready for some hot auditing action here. Just blasting right through it. Super chats, don't forget them. If you want to discuss a YouTube topic that can help the entire community, but I think we should just start.
All right.
Channels.
Let's look for some single channels near you.
I should have done that. I should have booked a viewing of Jurassic Park for Dan, but I didn't. Anyway.
The first channel we're looking at today on the non-gaming side of our 2 forms is Spiker Productions. They almost have 1,000 subscribers with less than 100 videos.
Nice.
And they do domino stacking videos. Now, I chose them. Their form was, their goal of YouTube was to become the best chain reaction inventors, one of the best chain reaction inventors, which I like because this is less of a YouTube goal and more of like a goal related to the hobby itself, which I thought was kind of cool.
Do you know what chain reaction is? Like just most spectacular domino setups that cause a unbelievable chain reaction of dominoes falling.
I assume that's what that means.
All right.
So biggest obstacle right now, the videos, you're working very hard, but you're not getting a lot of views. And then what part of your channel you want to focus on? Make more engaging thumbnails and titles.
All right.
Fair enough. Luckily for you, this niche is one that has been around for a while. And when we talk about thumbnails and things like that...
Blessing and a curse, I would say that, Dan. It's been around for a while. It means that there's already some well-established, strong competitors there.
True.
But it does mean that there's a lot of channels to take inspiration off of as well.
Yes, exactly. And because you want to be the best, you've already acknowledged that there's people right now who you're competing with. And it's good to stay aware of the competition. You're going to get a lot of ideas. And I would say thumbnail-wise...
Yeah, I just said, let's just scroll down a little bit, Dan. Sorry, I'm getting excited about this. Just stop right there, right? Well, scroll up a bit. I want control of your... Right, up a bit more, a bit more. Stop, right, okay. You're just doing this on purpose now.
I'm not. It's lagging for you. Which one? What do you want to see?
So scroll down again so we can see the 2 rows here. The bottom 2 rows, I want them in the middle.
Okay, so
It's
you want
just going to be
views?
a live stream of me giving Dan instructions. Right. So the question I wanted to ask the community right now is, which 3 thumbnails stand out here? Because it should be pretty obvious which thumbnails are standing out. And it looks as if those have got the most views as well. There's a template here. Like, the idea will form how impressive the build is of the dominoes, and then that can be used as your packaging. And that is what you just want to do over and over and over again. So any of these videos that don't have a great thumbnail are probably difficult to explain as an idea. And I think that's what the creator just really needs to niche down on, because they are already proven that they can get many views from those videos that have these pretty spectacular thumbnails. Sorry, Dan, to interrupt, but I just like, it was screaming out at me here. Like, there's an obvious path here for the creators to go down, which is taking a good idea and making a brilliant illustration out of it. And that'll do like 80-90% of the work before somebody even clicks in the video.
Hmm. I completely agree. I'm trying to look at some other, like, I'm trying to look at the ones that didn't draw my eye, basically.
Right.
And I think whatever this screen link thing is, it looks like it was part of some kind of community challenge or something. I want to ignore them. I want to set them aside and go, okay, you were just doing a thing. But at the same time, I mean, you posted it on YouTube. Ideally, that thing you're doing, you hope to get some more views. I guess I'm wondering out loud now, did the community challenge require you to put this big hashtag as the first thing in the title? My assumption is probably no, because the hashtag is probably for them to find you, and you could put that in the description, leaving you room to make a more engaging title and thumbnail. And
Correct.
I would,
Good point.
yeah, and I would just say that, like, I think that these 2 videos right here could be a lot better. I think that this one could probably be better. It looks like you did a lot here, but it's just the angle is not great. But then these more top-down angles, like this is just really working for you.
Yeah.
Definitely the best thumbnail that I noticed for sure, and it happens to be right here on the screen right now, your best video. Then there's this one that I really like as well.
We
I
don't
guess,
require any touching up really either, do we? You
yeah,
just need to take a clean image of the
yeah.
most impressive part of a domino build.
Exactly, and that's what I was gonna say, like, you don't have to get the entire scale of the whole project in the one thumbnail, right? In the tiny thumbnail. You should be focusing on like Rob said, the most impressive part. So, I assume this and this, it looks like the dominoes go off the screen, so this is probably just one part of a larger build. Even if it's not, that's fine, but let's assume it is. Like, you did it right here, but this is really hard to tell what's going on. I see kind of like scaffolding and popsicle sticks and stuff. This is too much living room and not enough like big tower. Like, this colorful tower in the middle would have drawn people's eye, you know?
Yeah.
This would have drawn people's eye.
When the video's in motion, you can have these more intricate builds because something's happening to that build as the video continues. But when somebody's looking at a static image, deciding whether or not it's going to stop them scrolling, you just want this impressive build of some kind, or this, I guess, visually satisfying pattern in some of these videos.
Hmm. So thumbnail wise, I think that's what we're stuck on, is like, just look at your most impressive. We don't even have to look at the space. Like, look at
Yeah.
your most impressive videos here. We've looked at channels like this in the past. I don't recall seeing ones with quite this many views on videos. And it goes to
Yeah,
show
there's,
that. Go ahead.
some have been kind of more in the embryonic stage of a channel where they haven't really had some outliers, but this channel already has. Just to quickly think about titles, Dan, consider us layman's. What do you think would be interesting to mention in the title? Might it be like how many dominoes are in the piece, or they've decided to use like satisfying or no music or ASMR? I'm just wondering what might be of interest title-wise to make it more curious to the viewer.
Yeah, definitely not screen link, because I don't know what that means. I know what it
Yeah,
means to knock over dominoes, but
yeah,
I don't know what screen link means, and it's distracting me a lot, and it's in a lot of titles. I know that it's also in the title of like this really successful video, but I think that's in spite of it. I don't think that's like, I don't think screen link is driving you traffic, because we've used it in other titles where it hasn't been as successful, right? So I think it's just about communicating a clear message. I love the idea of how many dominoes. You could put that in the thumbnail, or you could put that in the title. Like, destroying, 10,000 dominoes, very
mm.
satisfying, something like that. This is where we could look at different search terms for like this niche.
I was thinking that if we just put dominoes in as a search term, again, just from a top level, we don't really know what we're talking about. So let's see what the most popular channels are doing.
Domino chain reaction.
Okay, so that does come up as a search term. So I mean, that's like, those are the chef kiss thumbnails that you want to eventually work towards.
Yes, this is how you become the very best, like no one ever was. Let's see, 50,000 dominoes and chain reaction. That's like, this is kind of exactly what you said, right?
Yeah.
I've seen this one a lot. I don't know why. This one's been pushed to me before. Of course, shorts, very powerful.
And then here's the other thing: dominoes of like popular characters, trending things in culture. That might be something to. Interestingly enough, isn't there a new Jurassic Park coming out this year?
Is there?
Oh, I can't remember. I've just got it in my head now.
So
250,000, 900,000. Goodness. Well, we're not saying that you do that. That would take a long time to build, wouldn't it?
that's the whole point. The more
it
the
is.
better.
Yeah, Hevesh 5. I've seen them before. I think they're one of the like industry leaders in this space.
Yeah, I do think this is like, you might look at this and go, well, I can't possibly, but this is what you're working towards, right? Like if you want to be the best, like this person obviously is like a warehouse. That's like what you're working towards. I do feel like the amount of dominoes helps scale the view count in this space. You still need a good thumbnail and stuff. It's not like it's magic or anything, but it's like the more impressive the build and number of dominoes, the better it's going to do. This is kind of busting my theory because this is 800,000 and got double the views of this one. Not quite double, but this one's 900,000. But either way, we're playing in the millions now, so who cares? So yeah, I think if you were to up, what could you do? Could you do 10,000? Like, is that an option for you? Take up a lot of space. Maybe you can like clean out the garage one day and probably take like a week to make it, but make something really cool with 10,000 dominoes. This is all we can really suggest. We already know you're capable of getting the views. You've already made videos that have proven that you can get into the tens of thousands. You've gotten to the 5 digits before, and you did it without even talking about those things. Better titles, get rid of the screen link, whatever the heck that means, and keep it really dead simple. And let's keep upping the ante on yourself. Not maybe, do you have to do that every single video? Maybe not. Maybe if it prevents you from uploading at all, maybe you can kind of like save those bigger projects for once in a while. But I think that's the obvious answer here.
What about adding jeopardy, whereby the entire chain reaction hinges on one domino that's got to fall 20 feet and like land perfectly? Like, I'm wondering if you can add stakes in there as an idea, again, from a complete layman. Last thing to check here, Dan, let's just make sure that they are converting some of these long form videos into shorts, because this just naturally leads into visually satisfying quick shorts. They are doing that. Brilliant work. Continue to do that whenever you can. Try and make them like, even if it's just a highlight from one of your longer runs, a really satisfying bit that could be like 4 or 5 seconds long. Just make sure you keep doing that. Yeah.
That tower, I mean, that caught my eye immediately. Yeah. It's so impressive.
Go on. We've got to watch it, Dan. Go on.
I could never build
it. Click. I want to see it fall over. Oh, yeah. Come to me, baby. Come to me. Oh, that's the one. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's loop it again. Let's watch it all over again. I'm joking. Let's move
on. By the way, on the left here, if you watch shorts on desktop and you have
vidIQ, good segue, Dan.
You can check out the short scorecard we just launched. Pretty simple tool, pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to get extra data on the short you're watching. It scrolls along with the shorts, and you can kind of get an idea of how many subscribers the channel has versus how many views their short got. And, as you're studying, I always feel like this is the best way to learn about how to make better shorts. It's just by watching shorts. This is good data to have. So there you go.
Our tool extra idea, just while I'm thinking about it. What if you had the 2 angles on this shot? Like if you had I'm pointing, but nobody can see me pointing. You have a camera, like a GoPro on the ceiling, so it shows the top-down collapsing one. That just might add a different dynamic to your videos as opposed to other Dominoes creators.
Yeah, I agree. There's so, like, this is a cool space because you can scale up, almost infinitely. As long as you have the square footage to play with, you can really keep like upping the ante, which is really cool. It makes YouTube for you a little more straightforward than a lot of the channels we're going to see today. It's, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Is that fair to say, Rob?
Yeah.
I think so.
They're on a trajectory. and they have momentum that's building. It's kind of spiky momentum here and there, but there is an inevitability that this channel is going to hit 1,000 subscribers. There's an inevitability that they're going to get monetized, whether it be through shorts views or watch hours. And if they keep perfecting their craft as a content creator with just, I think, as we've agreed, like better ideas with terms of the titles and the packaging, looks as if they've already got the skill set to build these impressive domino chain reactions. Yeah, it's like come back in a year's time and I can see this channel like 10xing where they are right now, approaching 10,000 subscribers, maybe like 500,000 to 1 million views a month, that type of thing.
Yep, absolutely. So best of luck. Best of luck to Spiker Productions. Let's move on to the first gaming channel we selected today, which their forum post goes a little bit like this. Their goal for their channel is to make good quality videos that engage the audience, but don't take hours of editing because they're in school. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think we'd all love that, regardless of school.
Yeah, yep. I'm not sure if YouTube knows what kind of channel I am yet. I say this because once I'm done with the game, then I move on, and I think it gets confused. We will already, I think, start the conversation by saying, let's take the YouTube algorithm part out of it and consider the people, the audience watching your channel, because it's the same thing, right? Like if YouTube is getting confused, you're saying your audience is getting confused. So this is good that you've tapped into this. And then I'm really working hard on new thumbnail ideas. Would love some advice. I got Adobe Photoshop recently, been doing lots of testing with tools. Also, if you look at my titles and intro. Cool. All right. They're doing the work. Let's check out the channel. It is Brazzy Bro.
Brazil. No, sorry, not Brazil. Brazzy Bro.
16 videos, 6 subscribers. So really just early on here.
Yeah, well done for starting your YouTube channel.
Did I click on
getting in there, getting passionate, creating content.
They got videos, they got shorts. And yeah, so this is basically their entire channel right here if we're looking at long form content. And they are, as they said, trying to play around with thumbnails. And I think like from all the gaming channels I've seen and stuff like that, I think the first thing I'm noticing is their latest video, escaping bloodthirsty pirates on a jet ski. Now, my only issue with this pitch for a title and thumbnail is that I don't know if this is an animation. I don't know if this is supposed to be a real life kind of parody thing where it's a real person on a real jet ski escaping real pirates. I don't know if it's a video game. I don't know anything about this other than somebody is escaping pirates in some context. And I think that's really where my confusion lies. It's less about, oh, they switch games again. And the other ones, it's Uncharted. Like I can tell it's Battlefront. Like I can tell what games you're playing. But in this video, what I would say is probably your most intriguing pitch for a video leaves me with the biggest question. And that's, what is this?
Just mouse over it? Yeah. It's more of Neff and Rick.
Yeah.
All right.
So because you said you're using like Photoshop and using the tools, I don't know. I haven't played Uncharted. Is this jet ski scene kind of like
I think it is, but I don't think it's a big scene. I can't remember it myself. And I'm wondering, is that AI generated or they've done that through Photoshop? If it is Photoshop, that's an impressive.
Well, it could be Photoshop's AI.
Photoshop. Yeah, but I think we'll all agree, Dan, it just lacks a connection of content with the video game that it's talking about.
Yeah. The other thing I think that we need to go into is just some more basic gaming channel advice. Uncharted, kind of mega old now in terms of gaming years.
That's challenge number 1, Dan. I've got 3 challenges. You've identified that one.
Number 2, and for me, is that you're just playing Uncharted. What am I going to get that's different from me just playing Uncharted in my living room?
That wasn't one of my points, so I'll put Dan's points on this other finger.
And then, of course, just looking at the channel as a whole, it feels like you're not even really sticking with Uncharted for long enough to like beat the game.
It's point 2
in order to like, build an audience for it. So those were my points. What's the missing point? So
actually, there's another 2 points in, so I'm just gonna have to go for 4 points. Point 3 is that it's another Let's Play channel. We assume, because I see titles such as Call of Duty Ghost Full Campaign, they are an hour long, if not longer. Some of these are 5 hours long. So I assume they are Let's Plays. And that puts you in the bracket of so many other Let's Play gaming channels. So, the lack of, what would be the right word here? The lack of freshness from the content creator. And the final point was, I think I've forgotten, it came into my head and now it's gone. So I'll invent a new one, which is that the thumbnails typically are either cutscenes or loading screens. And other than a scene that's trying to connect it to the title, I think there is some interesting complementing of a title and thumbnail. But for example, She Will Die. So I have to connect from there, from the thumbnail and the title, that this is a Star Wars game that they're playing, or is it a Star Wars? Is it Andor? I'm sorry, Andor, or is it like a Star Wars? I'm not 100% sure. So again, when you talk about the glance test or the 2-second rule, I'm just not sure what this video is going to be if I'm not used to this channel. And again, because they're a brand new channel, it's difficult to really connect them to. This is definitely a Let's Play channel with this type of style and personality, playing this type of game.
Yeah. I think you mentioned the full campaign video for Call of Duty Ghosts. Call of Duty Ghosts is also an older game at this point. So I think these like larger videos, they work better when you kind of jump on more trending games or games with like more longevity. Like they make Call of Duty games like every year or two, right? And there's also a lot of games competing for attention in this niche. And the other thing I would say is like it's just you playing Call of Duty Ghosts. What if you did with a little bit of a challenge? What if can you beat the campaign using only melee? Like something like that to make it a little more like, oh, you're not just playing Call of Duty Ghosts. You're gonna really annoy yourself by doing something more interesting than that.
I think that's Dan's default challenge when it comes to first-person shooters. Can you do it with the knife? Go on. Can you do it with a knife? Or if it's a Walking Dead zombie game, can you do it with a crowbar or the shopping trolley or
whatever. What are you, baby?
Dan, they did ask us to look at the introduction, so let's try one of these. Just indulge yourself. See if they're doing any editing or thinking about how they start their videos.
I want to do the Call of Duty one because I think you're asking people to sit down for almost 5 hours, and so that intro needs to be pretty like good, I would say.
All right.
Call of Duty Ghosts, released 2013, is a first-person shooter developed by Infinity Ward. But since its release, it has had its ups and downs. The game kinda ended up flopping because of the campaign not having enough originality and was too predictable. Or so the critics say. But I'm here to find out for myself and to see if it really is what the critics say, or if maybe the game deserves a better name. I hope you'll join me as we dive into the world of Call of Duty Ghosts, the campaign.
I was not expecting that, and I was pleasantly surprised. They have thought about a proper intro for their video, and it was good.
Yeah, it was good. It was solid. I would have liked to see this intro, I think, on a shorter video. I think you could have played through the campaign, and I know I've said this is an option. You can definitely do stuff like this, but it's a lot quicker to like, well, I don't know, you still beat the campaign. It's probably better value to try this first with like a 20-minute breakdown of your time playing the campaign, and you script it out real nice. It seems like you did script out that intro, and it was very good. And it made it sound like the goal of the video wasn't to just play the campaign, which is what we got in the end, a full campaign video. It sounded like it was to redeem the game, which is kind of a different concept to me.
Fair point. Yeah.
So I think you could have, and I think you still could re-edit this video and like do kind of a retrospective, almost video essay on it, and then you could even link back and say, if you want to just see my playthrough of the full campaign, I still have that on the channel, blah, blah, blah. So that could be an option for you.
I like this.
Were the critics right?
Title.
Yeah, that's a great title. I think when you, I didn't even realize it was this old. So that's even more to my point too, of these full campaign videos, like work a lot better when it's like a revered title that's been around for a long time, or something like Minecraft, which is just like endless and everyone's experience is way different from the last person's, or you're playing like a cutting edge kind of game. Like I've been seeing a lot of people play Schedule 1, for example. So that's one that I've noticed people playing and doing really long videos on, and that trend is about to probably go now. It's been a while since Schedule 1 was like kind of taking streaming by storm. So it's just difficult to do. I think retrospective videos can absolutely work, but they should be pitched as a retrospective video, and they should be the length of what someone would expect a retrospective to be.
I think this creator has enough to be going on with there.
Yeah, I think we covered it. I'm not even suggesting they stick to one game for a while. They could if they want to, but I think this is also its own niche if you were to do those types of videos. So decide for yourself. Best of luck, and we'll move on to Rob wanting to talk about video games.
Self-indulgent gaming corner. Hey, everybody. Every week we ask you what video game you are playing right now to help you disconnect from YouTube, because if you did YouTube 24/7, you would burn out very quickly. Now, it might not be video gaming. It could be another sport, hobby. Just let us know in the comments, and our amazing community manager, Vicky, will throw them up as we're chatting about what's been occupying us over the last 7 days in the gaming world. Dan, reveal your joystick waggling flavor of the week.
That's weird. I'm still playing Pokemon games. Just kind of, something to chill out and do. Collect Pokemon. Almost fall asleep collecting Pokemon.
And this is real life collecting Pokemon. This isn't a video game collecting
There's
Pokemon.
no Pokemon in real life. They're fake. They're fictional. I play on a Nintendo Switch.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Gotcha. Because this is a tariff induced world now where Pokemon is just unaffordable. Right.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
You know they called it, what's it, the Affordable Care Act? There's now the Unaffordable Pokemon Card Act.
Yes. Yeah. I was introduced a while ago now. And so just going back into some of the games, catching Mons. It's been fun.
All right. So this week I've continued to play Final Fantasy 16. I've now definitely determined that it is better than Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
Wow.
Just the combat system is so much more enjoyable, and I'm really enjoying it. I have to admit, the story, I'm just not really paying attention anymore. You know, when you get to cutscenes for like side quests and you can skip the dialogue?
Yeah.
I'm doing that all of the time now.
Yes.
But I am following the main story. I'm kind of just about holding on there. It is quite complicated.
Yes.
But, Dan, here is my big reveal of the week, and it does require a drum roll.
Oh, I think I know
which I'm gonna talk over. So Dan just showed a Nintendo Switch there, and I have somewhat lambasted said console and games, especially the Legend of Zelda series. But that does not matter, because I have ordered a Nintendo Switch 2.
Nice. Congrats.
Even though I'm not that bothered about getting one, I'm going to annoy people who do want to pre-order one. I'm not going to sell it on eBay or anything like that. Okay. I'm going to keep it, obviously.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm very meh and indifferent. But just because of the hype and because I can pre-order one, that is what I've done. And again, just for all you Americans who can't do that right now.
Did you feel like it was like a challenge, or did you have to like sit there at the stroke of midnight, like clicking the button as fast as you could, or was it really easy?
So you can't order any online, but you can go into physical stores, and there's an electrical store here in the UK called Currys. It's very similar to Best Buy, where they're only taking pre-orders in person. And I just went in and said, have you got any left? Yeah. One with Mario Kart World? Yeah. All right. And that was a week after pre-orders opened. So like, if anybody's in the UK and are still thinking of getting one, maybe check out your local Currys. Hashtag not sponsored, no affiliate link. I don't know how that will work anyway if you go in store to get to pre-order it. But yes, in 2 months, maybe I'll unbox it live on a live stream. I don't know. And Dan, now we have to think about this. Like, if you can't get access to a Switch 2, like, do you need B-roll from me to make all of the videos about how we're going to talk about starting said channels?
I think what you can do is just send me yours, and then I'll do that.
Yeah, but that'll cost, like, by that time there'll be 3,000% tariffs on just sending stuff abroad. Like,
just put it on a company card. It's fine.
Done. Done. Yes.
I was gonna say about Final Fantasy. I know that it's blasphemy to skip the cutscenes of Final Fantasy. When I was playing the MMO, I was just skip.
Yeah,
I don't care about the story at all. I know they work really hard on those stories, but they're very confusing to me, and I just want to get into the gameplay. So I relate to that completely. But
And who else does this when they have when there's dialogue, but there's subtitles, and you can skip like the subtitles, so you can read the subtitles faster than the atrocious, often voice acting, or just like really slow, painful voice acting. I like half the time when I'm playing an MMORPG, it's hello, sir. So you're going to this? Yes, we need to kill this. Like I'm just skipping. Like I hear the first couple of words of each scene, and then I'm on to the next. Well, anyway, where were we?
I noticed that there's a special guest that wants to join us and talk about something that they're passionate about that they use to disconnect from YouTube. So maybe we should bring them in.
So sure.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Oh. All right.
Are you guys not wearing your shirts?
Yo.
Savage said he got you guys shirts.
I'm having import problems right now, so maybe it hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah, I'm going to deny any packages from Savage problems, so yeah.
Okay.
I did not know it was you.
He said we were all going to be wearing one.
I genuinely thought it was Savage. That's well, I've got to say. So we call you Johnage or something like that. Scottage.
I think we know what we have to call him. It's down there. He's put it on his nameplate. I don't want to call him that, but that's what I think you prefer.
I have a feeling I'm being pranked. I mean, like, it doesn't even line up with my neck. It's like all sideways. I don't know what he was thinking.
That's exactly what he was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome, John. Are you hanging around, or are you done?
Well, now I don't want to.
Why?
Because I thought it was a thing we were all going to do. I thought we were all going to be wearing these, but I should have known. I should have known Savage would do this.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'll hang around. I'll hang around for a bit, I guess.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Well, let's get back into some channels then. I guess
let's do it
with. Well, no, this is the one Rob picked. I talked a lot, so the two of you. It's Anxiously Yours.
Yeah, so I think it's important to look at the former here and the questions they put, which were, is their first attempt to create a YouTube channel and figure out how things work. Cool, welcome to YouTube. Biggest obstacle, don't understand why regular, not shorts, aren't working, 1 to 10 views, all right. And what do we want to take a look at? Just like the general weaknesses, please tell me what I should improve. So we take a look at the channel, and like on very first glance and opinions, you look at the channel banner, you look at the thumbnails, you look at the titles. I'm kind of thinking the foundations are here. Like the packaging seems really solid. The thumbnails are clear. The text is used in an effective way, easy to read. One simple action to beat procrastination now. That's giving you kind of a promise, and a quick promise is a easy solution there. All of this seems on the surface curious, intriguing. I'm willing to commit. So Dan, let's click on one of these videos, shall we?
All right.
Play future. You go to bed and suddenly you're spinning.
Okay.
I know why.
This, I suspect, might be a faceless channel AI creation. Now, there's nothing necessarily bad about that. But when you think about the contents and that this can be like a very personal thing, you are maybe revealing your vulnerabilities and your stresses about the world. Are you going to want to get your solutions and advice from AI?
That's the thing. We assume,
typical
right?
answer is probably not. You want credibility. You want validity. You want to be able to trust where this information is coming from. And the moment you click on the video, like you lose that trust, in my opinion, as a viewer. So
You are making the same assumption I'm making. It was written by a computer, not a human.
could be, could well be, yeah.
I didn't
So
interrupt you. But.
to go back to the original question from the creator, like they're just trying to figure themselves out on YouTube. It's like they've done potentially the hardest bit, which a lot of people never figure out, or they neglect it, or they try and figure it out after making the content, the packaging, the branding. That seems to be in place. But unfortunately, the topic, the niche, just doesn't fit the creative style, which is faceless channel AI creation.
Yeah. John, any thoughts? You kind of picked up on it right away as well, it seems.
I've seen this conversation a lot lately. Immediately you could see in the chat, it was like, oh, it's just AI stuff, AI. I have a feeling that platforms are going to start deboosting this kind of stuff just in general. And I think that the faceless niche where it's at right now, the leaders of it are going to continue to be the leaders. I don't know if it's a niche that a lot of people are going to break into with the kind of technology advancement that's going on. So I think outside of this niche, particularly like the way that they went about it, I think it's something hard to break into. I don't think that people are generally interested in it. When you go and you click on it and you see the description and you read it and you're like, okay, ChatGPT obviously wrote this too. Like you could even notice there was an M dash in it, which is like the extra long dash, which is what ChatGPT like constantly writes. That's just like a lot of people believe that that's immediately AI. So this is like a very vulnerable topic. I would hope somebody confident enough to show themselves on screen would be the person that I'd be watching. And this, yeah, I don't know. If this was about AI, it might fit a little bit better because a lot of people are more accepting, but not a topic like this. I don't see it working. Yeah, outside of that, all the packaging looked cool. I was about to say this person's lying. This isn't their first channel because I was like, this is solid. They've got a good brand, like the coloring. The thumbnails are simple enough, easy to understand, but yeah, the content just does not back it up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could say, for example, if this creator is going to build faceless AI channels, if the topic was maybe history or it was listicles of some kind or the best products to buy, there might be a little more acceptance from the audience. But yeah, when we go down health, mental health, making money, maybe even education, then you're on a really tricky tightrope to gaining the trust from the viewer.
Mm-hmm. Quick definition for everybody here when we talk about faceless channels. Is faceless okay for gaming channels? That's what I do. Faceless channel. This
definitely.
is when I started vidIQ, the term faceless channel did not apply to the type of channel we're looking at right now. It was literally people who made videos with their own voice and stuff, but they didn't want to be on camera, and it related a lot to gaming channels. You can absolutely have no camera and have a gaming channel. When we say faceless channel nowadays, it more relates to channels like the one we're looking at on screen right now, which is like they are an anonymous person putting out videos. We assume they're not using their own voice. We don't know if they're using their own writing. They don't put their own face in the thumbnails as far as we can tell. Like it's a different thing now. Like it's kind of the term is a little confusing because it's taken on a new life. Like it just has its own genre of video now. So that's just a quick, when we talk about it nowadays, this is the kind of channel we're more or less talking about. And I say this is the kind of channel because we're making a lot of assumptions. This could be the creator for all we know. I don't know. All right. I'm willing to admit I don't know. But what I will say, my disappointment with this channel is I have this sometimes. I have trouble going to sleep because I'm overthinking things. And I would have loved to see a real life person talk about their experience overcoming that, because as Rob kind of pointed out, and my own assumption is this was maybe even written by ChatGPT, and ChatGPT has never suffered a night's sleep where they couldn't get to sleep because they were overthinking because it's a robot. It's drawing on the experience.
I'm going to ask ChatGPT that right now, Don, and I'll give you the answer.
It's drawing from the experience of a lot of people they've put out there and stuff, but we've seen that flawed in a number of ways. I just want to hear from real people, and that's who I connect to, and especially with this type of topic. Like this is a very sensitive topic, and I think it's one that only a real person can truly articulate while earning the trust of the people watching.
Yeah, and to add clarity to that, what you talked about with the faceless channels, I meant AI-driven faceless channels. Faceless channels in general, I don't think that they'll stop performing well. Like, I saw Slavguard in there mention that he was a faceless channel, and I don't mean channels like Slavguard. I do mean the AI, like every AI does everything, and automated channels. Let's say that. That's what I mean. Faceless channels, like Explore With Us, is one that talks about criminals and investigations and stuff, and they use a narrator. They hire a narrator to talk, and like that's technically a faceless channel, and that's not what I mean. Those channels will still win, but automated channels, that's where, yeah, downhill.
You can almost take the word faceless in your head and change it out with automated with YouTube and when we talk about it.
So I asked ChatGPT, have you ever suffered from a sleepless night? Oh yeah, definitely. Whether it's stress, racing thoughts, a random burst of energy at 2 a.m., or just my brain deciding to blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then it asked me, have I had a rough night? And I replied with, but you are AI. Guilty as charged. You're right, I don't sleep. So under interrogation, the conversation fell apart very quickly.
Yeah, it's very confident. Well, I think we move on to the next one. I think our advice here is pretty obvious.
I had one final question. Do you think it's worth, despite all we've said, do you think it's worth this creator maybe giving this a 25 videos or 3-month run just to establish like a channel, see if it works, and then if it doesn't, they kind of move on to a more palatable faceless/AI topic or niche? Or do you think, are we basically saying that we just think this is never going to be relatable to an audience? Let's start all over again, because that feels like a bit of a harsh thing to say for a channel that's only got 4 videos right now.
I mean, I don't like it, but it might be for somebody. So maybe if you want to spend the time, that would be my answer.
Like just getting in the reps, figuring out how to perfect this style of content, and then when you're ready to choose a new topic, just food for thought.
I think the more videos they make, the more they could possibly learn about what people react to. But I think it would be so much more efficient if they just did it with themselves and like actually tried to. I'm not saying they're not being creative here, but like put more creativity, like put more of their soul into what they're doing. If they truly care about this, then like you talk about it, like I don't know. It's so tough because I don't know them, and a lot of people they find it tough to put themselves out there. But yeah, so that's easy to say, but still.
They did mention this. Is it just worth clicking on the shorts? I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they work better with shorts. I mean, we have no idea how many views those actually are. 742. What does that mean these days?
Yeah, I would say that maybe these continued. I don't know when they were uploaded, so maybe they continue to do all right. It looks like it was a recent uptick here. So yeah, this could go on a bit. But yeah, these views that nowadays, I would almost say you should probably cut them in half in your brain, just because YouTube is doing this engaged view nonsense now. I call it nonsense. So some people might like it, but this is still not like, if it were to stay here, I would say they're not doing as well as I've seen shorts do in this space. The ceiling's very, very high for what you could achieve. So I always think John and I really enjoy making shorts. John, especially, you've had like a lot of success lately. And I think the reason, like when I look at your shorts that you've made, the thing that gets me to stop scrolling is there's like a person telling a story. And I don't question for a second that it's a person. I know it's a person. And this is like the perfect kind of video for storytelling, right? Because it's like I haven't slept in days, and this is why. Like that's so much more fun to watch than the robot voice, and that's really, at the end of the day, that's what I'm going to always encourage. But I get that you're a different person, you're doing a different thing.
You know what we should add at the beginning of every channel audit live stream, Dan? So we are anti-AI and anti-faceless channels. We're just being honest before we start.
It's a personal preference, but I admit there are people out there that like this kind of content. There are people out there who make this kind of content and are successful, but because it's not something I enjoy watching, it's harder to give advice that may be even more helpful to this creator, because we're just always going to encourage you to go the other direction. But all right.
Move on, shall we?
The next channel is called Lefty's Fabrication. This is one I selected before we got started. And it's the last one before we get into random selections. They want to share their love for cars and fabrication. Their biggest obstacle is budget and time, which makes a lot of sense because fabrication is very expensive. That is the act of making car parts from thin air. So yeah, very expensive.
Okay.
And thumbnails and titles are something that they want us to focus on. So let's jump into Lefty's fabrication. They have
So this might be like a new
345
car door or bumper or
yeah, basically.
wheel arch. Okay.
I just wanted to highlight this comment. I'm not anti-AI or anti-faceless. I'm just anti-low effort. That's so good. Yes, for sure.
I've watched channels that use AI and do really fun things with it. I have, and I've enjoyed them quite a bit. But yeah, I think that's the thing. Like when they're using it and it's like a person like engaging with the tools, I'm always more fascinated than. Yeah. Anyway.
yeah, for sure. We could talk about it forever.
So, first title here. Can I make this 1960 F100 roadworthy again? I like that.
Will it drive? That could be
drive.
That could be the name of a channel, really, couldn't it?
I think since they talked about thumbnails and titles, that I think this would be perfect for a before and after. I don't know about you guys, but it sounds like this is it's a 34-minute video. It's going to be quite the journey. I don't know. I would have at least tested a before and after, but I'm intrigued by the fact that it's like an old looking car with the paint peeled off. And
I guess the problem I would say with that thumbnail is will it drive? All right, the body looks as if it's in a pretty naff condition, but that doesn't mean that the internals are knackered. So like, there's not enough, I guess, intrigue or excitement. Like if half of it was in pieces, that might make it more of an appealing showstopper in terms of catching my attention as I'm scrolling through.
Like if they had opened the engine compartment and it was all rusted out and stuff and then said, will it drive? That would make a lot of sense. Or if the engine looked great and then it text said, doesn't drive, ? Like that would also be like, why? It looks fine. Why doesn't it drive? You know, there's just different signals there that I think people could pick up on.
I think what we should do is give credit to the channel that they've had an outlier from 3 months ago, which I think is maybe the part 1 of this series. And they are pushing through with that series. And they just haven't had the traction that's followed it. I'd be curious to know why this one with 8,000 views has the outlier properties that it does. Like, did it pick up immediately? Was it shared somewhere? Like, is there a good engagement on the video?
It's pretty clear like what stakes are involved from that one. Like this thing has been sitting for 8 years. And so anybody that's had an old car that's been sitting, they wonder how long can that sit before it won't start anymore. And so that I would click that. I think anybody that owns a car would wonder, just like that's the question that it brings up.
Yeah, it's so obvious that, John, isn't it? That just adding that to the thumbnail rather than will it drive from the most recent thumbnail, you're adding more of a uncertainty.
Yeah. I gotta say, I think the ideas that he's doing are great. I think the thumbnails are not, well, I mean, they are, but compared to search will it drive just on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of more simple thumbnails and yours just look a little noisy. These all have like one item in like clear view, it's the car, and then the text is in some sort of negative space. Now with his will it drive thumbnail, it's kind of like smashed up at the top. There could be more sky and the will it drive would fit perfect there. And I think him putting himself in there, it's okay. It's your channel. It's about you sort of, but it's more about the car. If you made the car the star of the show, like it deserves to be, then I bet it would do better. I mean, you could be in there working on it. I saw a thumbnail where a guy was doing that, but just like, I don't know. There was another one, Flying Sparks Garage, where the people were still in it, but they were in the background and the car was like in the forefront. And then the Will It Drive was at the top in the sky. Will It Drive is what you'll find. Yeah, there it is. It's like the 6th one, Will It Drive. So, I mean, they're in it. Even then, I'm like, who cares? Why are you in there? But that's just me. Right. This is about the car. So, yeah, it's just about like making sure there's room for everything. And bringing it back, the next one, and then there's red text, which I can't read. I don't know what it says. But like all that noise of the garage in the background, and then two text, and then it's too much. If you can like put it in a setting where there's just negative, maybe it's just the horizon or like some trees way in the background. Like make sure it's just the one item that sticks out more than anything, and I think that you'll start winning for sure. Yeah, look at Flying Sparks Garage and Daily Driven Death Traps. Those are two that are like really popping with how simple their thumbnails are. Oh, there's one called Forgotten 1976 Chevy for $1,900. That might pop up, but yeah, there it is. Look how simple that truck thumbnail is. It's I mean the two different text kind of bugs me, personal taste, but like it's just like immediate. Here's the truck. Will it run? I don't know. Like stakes are obvious and it's clear.
Bonnet popped open as well. Do you call them bonnets over there, or do you call, was it frunk?
Trunk.
No, frunk is when the front of the car is empty.
Oh yeah.
So that's like a front trunk. A trunk is for you a boot, I imagine. The back of a car.
Correct,
is storage. We
call the front a bonnet.
We just call it the hood, the front of the car.
Hood, that's it. Hood.
We say pop the hood.
Pop open the hood. Yeah. Pop open the hood. Why don't you, kind sir?
And that was going to be my suggestion for the second video. Like, it's a series, you know. They're taking this car and they're bringing it into a series. What I don't love is that they kind of replicated the title almost in each one. And every one, you're always like, "Can I make it drive? Can I make it drive? Can I make it drive?" And it's not telling the story. If you're going to have me join you for an episodic adventure, first you found the truck in a bunch of grass, then you got it home, and what happened next? You can tell that with the title and thumbnail. You opened it up and the engine was in shambles, right? Like, or the interior's not so bad, or like, tell me the story. If you're going to take me on this journey for months and months now, like every video should have like a clear hook to it, and it can be part of an episodic series. That's fine, because I'll probably always come back to this one to like, oh wait, we're 3 episodes in, what was the first one, you know? That's fine. But this is just, it's like the same video over and over, and it looks like no progress has been made other than you've got it out of the grass.
Yeah, that's a fair point, Dan. Yeah, interesting observation.
Did I interrupt you before, Rob?
No, I wanted you to finish your thoughts. The two final observations I had were that it feels as if there's two topics on the channel right now, which is restoration and then destruction derby racing. Maybe that's kind of what some of the thumbnails suggest to me.
Yeah,
a little bit. And also that, especially the most recent videos, and these as well, they're all quite long. So does that represent high effort videos that take a long time to make? Because cadence seems to be one every month. I'm wondering if it's worth experimenting with shorter videos that don't quite take as long to make, so that you can figure out a bit more, you know, with more YouTube reps in terms of the packaging. Because I think we've talked a lot about packaging and how it's not quite right yet. But the final thing I wanted to say is, like, this is a complete opposite of a previous channel where the barrier to entry for this content is enormous. Like, most people don't have the skills to fabricate new car parts. They don't have access to like a huge garage in order to store this and place. Like, this person cannot be replicated easily. So once they've figured it out, they've got a huge potential audience who are going to come back and watch their content.
I'd like to. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'd like to mention that we haven't watched anything yet, but so this might be an assumption. But we talk a lot about adjacent channels and taking inspiration from, like, not your niche, but niches adjacent to yours. And an adjacent niche to mechanic would be construction worker, right? So there's a channel called Hacksman, and if you just watch his videos and you see how he does his storytelling, like, this is what I'm doing in this video, and then you'll see about 30 seconds into a minute, another problem comes up, and this is something else that he has to solve. And then 30 seconds to a minute later, another problem. And then, like, he just keeps doing this. And if you kind of take his format, but, like, make it your own in your mechanic space, I really think that it'll help you. I mean, that's pretty intricate, and it takes a little bit of planning, but, like, that's how you go from 100 views to 1 million views. Like, that's the kind of work it takes. And seriously, That's what I would do if I was in this space.
This is how you brand a channel without anyone realizing you're branding it as well. Just the consistent red and all of
Red
them.
pops.
Just beautiful.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
really good. I might have to go back and watch that one later.
Dude, he's awesome. Incredible.
Lefty's Fabrication, everybody. Today we're doing something a little bit different, partially because the trash car season is now over, and partially because I'm tired of doing trash car content, at least for now. So, what we're working on today, 1960 F100.
Well, that's one of the darlings you're going to have to kill.
It's very long.
It just kept going.
Yeah.
I was like, what is... Oh, man.
We don't need that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a bit long. I don't think you need it. You could have it be half the length and talk under it, and that might be acceptable.
Yeah.
But it's very long.
I actually owned this truck for quite a few years. Back in 2018, when I first started my YouTube channel, I bought this thing. My buddy Brian decided to move to the other side of the earth, meaning Australia, and marry a lady. Good for him. Even better for me, because I get to buy this awesome truck. And he gave me a really
Hey,
good
can you
deal.
pause for a second? Hey, dude, if you go into your YouTube editor and cut up all the way to where you say back in 2018, just cut everything before that, this is going to perform better. Guaranteed. It, like, all that stuff was just stuff that I don't know you, so I don't care about any of that. But when you start telling me a story back in 2018, I bought this when my buddy moved across the world, I'm invested now.
Yeah.
I care now, but I wouldn't have given you the chance. I would have already left the video like 10 seconds ago because of all that stuff beforehand. So I would cut it and just like take that thought and then apply it to your next videos.
I also wanted to mention that, again, personal opinion, I feel as if this is a little over... Well, no, maybe that's not the right word, but a very classic style of filming, whereby just talking head with truck in background. I feel as if this would be a lot more relatable and dynamic if you almost in a vlogging situation where you were kind of wandering around a truck as you were talking. I'm just curious how long we have this static shot, because again, I think the truck is as much of the hero of this video as it's a more of that handheld stuff.
Yeah.
Just like so like he's touring around the truck as he's telling the story.
Dude, yes.
It happens. It's just slow. There's a lot of like, I'm going to stop, I'm going to talk, I'm going to move my position, I'm going to point. Yeah. So, and that's just, I think that's a practice thing.
Sure.
For sure. But it's, I like the changing shots and everything. I do think even some B-roll that you shot after the fact could be good. I know I'm not listening to it right now, but I'm asking myself, considering the length of this video, do we need to see you pulling off the boards, revealing what's in the back? Maybe that's kind of interesting, but it makes me wonder how long, like, I don't know, how much could you have cut out of this to make it a little shorter for an even wider audience? And I know this, we're looking at like one of their best videos and tearing it apart right now. But this, we saw earlier, the ceiling on this content is much higher than this. Like, and the video has kind of since gone a bit flat. So it's still worth kind of taking it apart a little bit and seeing like what's under the hood and, you know, giving some suggestions here and there.
Seeing how much he's filmed, like all of the different angles and everything that he's showing, like he's invested a lot of time into this. If this was cut down to 11 to 15 minutes, I bet you I would watch the whole thing. Like even somebody that's not so interested in this niche, there's so much value in it that I bet I'd watch the whole thing if you just wanted to experiment and cut it down to all the stuff that only I care about. Just food for thought.
This is a really good opportunity for storytelling, as John pointed out. And I think you know, you have a skill set that not a lot of people have. You said money was an obstacle for you. I don't think you need to spend for a while. You have this truck. It seems like an ongoing project. I think you can, without even altering these 3 videos, I think you could take maybe some of this advice, if you agree with it, apply it, and then your 4th video in the series could show some real progression and could still have like an interesting hook of like this truck is this many years old. It sat for this long and I'm like fixing it up. And here's like you could do a quick recap of these 3 videos. Like, I found it in the grass, I got it home, it doesn't start, there's weeds growing in the engine, here's where I'm at today with it. You know, you don't even need to convince people to go back and watch the rest of the series. Just like a 4th video on this could do really, really well, and it won't cost you like the price of another car you have to start working on.
So Dan's expectation for my next video is that it'll look like the DeLorean from Back to the Future 2, where it can fly, has Mr. Fusion,
right,
and travels at 88 miles per hour.
It's easy.
Progress.
Yeah, they were doing it back in the 80s. You could do it.
All right. Just brought the theme tune back to me. Back to the Future.
Will it go 88?
New.
So that concludes the pre-selected channels, which means we're on to random selection. Except I have to log back to YouTube and Rob's continuing to
okay.
Listen. Give me a second here. Why don't y'all answer some questions?
Yeah, we've got like just a couple of super chats, which are Yips has been a member for 2 months, so you can have this sound effect for today. Bruh. And yes, Love's returned. And Frantic Drippy Reacts submitted on the form for the channel. It's a reaction channel, hoping the chances to be on here. And well, you're going to find out very soon as we take it over to our world famous I've just realized we always complain about like really long intros and stuff, and we just throw that on a live stream every single week. But it is quality.
That's an interlude. It's not an intro.
It is still, I think, Dan's finest work here at vidIQ.
Yeah, and I will honor it by not using the claw today. I keep doing that. Here we go. So we have, again, 2 forms. One's non-gaming, one's gaming. Pick the one that suits your channel the best. And then I'll just go up to here and tap.
All right, so we're really not using the claw then. We're just doing Dan's random number picker thing.
Yep, my very boring random number picker.
Hey, it gets the job done. I use it every Wednesday.
All right, this one's called Do It With Polly. Looks like a lawn care channel. This is an interesting graphic
That's
here.
That's funny.
Let's see. So their goal is to help with DIY. Their biggest obstacles, thumbnails and titles, and they want us to look at their titles, thumbnails, and descriptions. All right. Well, almost 2,000 subscribers. Well, 1,500 subscribers, 61 videos. Taking on various DIY tasks. They do seem to be doing that.
Start with the thumbnails then, I guess. Over to you, thumbnail expert.
Just at a quick glance, I'm not sure what any of these videos are about. At a quick glance, the more
except for the bottom left-hand corner one, that's funny. I like the humor in that one.
Yeah, I get it. I didn't know that was a mower at first. I thought it was like a 4-wheeler or something, but now I get it. It's a mower. That sucks, man. I feel so bad because like I just didn't understand it. Yeah, it is funny. I just didn't understand that it was a mower. Probably because I'm used to my mower having that like grass guard thing off the side. I guess if I saw that, I would immediately recognize the context
and run away from it.
Yeah. Okay. Can I fix wet compacted garden lawn soil with Compressy? And then the titles are cut off. All right. With compressed
air. Okay.
All right. I think that it's just context with these. First, all right, let's go back to basics. Some of these have like way too much text on them, and one of the biggest issues is like the logos. Like Screwfix, it's not relevant to me, I guess, but for people that are okay, hold on. Screwfix cheapest DIY concrete breaker tool. Okay, so it's like a review.
Yeah.
I feel like having the tool close up to where I could see the logo on it instead of posting the logo on it would be better. Like when I think of a tool review, people want to see the tool close up in like a cleaner atmosphere.
And if for advertising cheapest, you want to see like, oh, well, I can get a cement mixer for £79. Cool, I'm in.
Yeah. There's just a lot going on here.
I think that's also reflected in the topics as well, because if you look at avian flu UK law, cement mixers, lawnmower riders, wood burning stove. Yeah, I think it's kind of DIY, but you know, some people are going to be really interested in a DIY of reslating their roof, but not interested in the UK laws for avian flu.
Okay, I think the reason I was having so much trouble is because I didn't know what to focus on first. All right, let's scroll up to wood burning stove and look at it. I can't recognize that this is a wood burning stove. Top right.
Top right.
Looks like a paint pot to me.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was just like a pipe of some kind.
I thought it was like
Maybe
the top of a paint can or something.
It is.
Okay.
Oh,
But-
it's a stove flue. Okay. So
Oh.
for people that don't, like, if I'm looking how to clean like a wood stove flue, I guess what I'm looking for is to see a wood stove in the first place. Something that gives me that context. Clean out your pipes. Okay, like these are more simple. That one with how to clean your chimney, that one's like real simple.
This is a good example of where there's a niche topic where it hasn't matured yet on YouTube. So the thumbnails and the titles are still a little like 2012, 2013, where they're just like, I don't really know how to make thumbnails, so I'm just gonna like throw everything in a thumbnail and people will hopefully make sense of it. But like if somebody with a bit of talent and knowledge moves into this space, they can just clean up with better packaging.
Yeah. Amazing cheap 18-volt cordless multi-tool uses Makita battery. All right. This thing that says fits Makita is taking up in like the entire thumbnail. So that might be something to fix. Man, I'm so sorry. It's hard to understand what to focus on first.
I think you're kind of summing it up there, John, in terms of it's a DIY channel, but in terms of the ideal viewer, is this like a complete beginner DIY? I don't think it is. Is this a professional tradesman who also does some DIY as a hobby? It kind of feels like that, but also perhaps a farmer as well because they've got some chickens. I think the creator needs to run an exercise of simplifying everything down. So that's the audience, the topics, the thumbnails, the titles.
Yeah.
From the packaging perspective, from what we've seen.
I see that they want to be a DIY channel, and I know with DIY channels you could cover a lot of ground, but there are also channels entirely dedicated to lawn care, entirely dedicated to roofing, entirely dedicated to RVs. So it's like some of these are successful too. I don't want to sit here and say never do this again. Like you're getting thousands of views on some of these, but I still think it would be easier to kind of gain momentum and not kind of chain yourself to search completely if you were to kind of niche down on something. Now, one thing I wanted to look at as well were their descriptions, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Descriptions?
Yes, they mentioned descriptions on the form.
All right. Okay.
I'm just going to pick a random video here. Yeah. So in this video, I delve into the McAllister model number garden shredder from Screwfix. After a few months of rigorous testing, I'm ready to share thoughts. I think this is a good human readable description. I wouldn't worry about this to the point where you're having us focus on it, like, because it's at the end of the day, like, it helps with the metadata. Sure. I mean, you're relying on search. Cool. But you don't need to do this. This doesn't do anything for you.
Especially not in a description. Is it still technically against terms of service to do that? Oh, they're all hashtags. I do apologize. They're not tags. That's fine.
Notice that they didn't even rank, and these are the only 3 that worked.
Yeah, you're not supposed to put in more than 15, I think. I can't remember why, but I think if you put in more than 15, then it just doesn't read them or something.
Yeah, only 3 will show up here. Like,
Yep.
so yeah, I wouldn't spend too much time on this. Just get the model number in there. I think that's important for searchability. Do this paragraph of like what your experience was a little bit, and then give people where to find it, especially with affiliate links. But other than that, I don't want to focus on those for too long because I think there's a lot of homework already when it comes to thumbnails and niche. If you agree with the advice we've given, and there's a lot to do.
My final suggestion for me, sorry, John, is cadence. They post very irregular, so maybe if they can commit to posting once every 2 weeks for the next 3 to 4 months to get a more of a consistency down there as well.
Mhm.
The other day, well, it was like 2 weeks ago. I was putting in a new washer, and the washer, there was a certain way to get to a certain setting, and I had this feeling like, man, maybe I should make a video about it because, like, I guarantee a lot of people are searching for this, and so I thought, well, why wouldn't I just make a channel where like all of the problems that I come across in the world that I can solve, I just put it all in one channel. This is exactly what this guy does. This is how that turns out. And it sucks that like niching down is required to get big, but like big as a channel, but videos can get huge if you just package them right. And you can do this all encompassing DIY thing because I had that impulse where I wanted to do something like this too. Every day there's a new problem that I have to figure out, and then I know a ton of people are probably searching it. And so individually packaging the video in the best way and making it the best, most informative video possible, showing all the things that they will be seeing, those are the things to focus on. And I think you will have videos that win. As a channel, I think it'll be difficult to grow because channels are like they're suggested with like other content that relates to it, and so YouTube it would find this a little confusing, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good call out.
I think, Dan, as you're picking the next channel, just quickly address this question, which is, are descriptions important? And my answer always to things like, are tags important, are descriptions important, is whatever time you're spending on descriptions and tags and metadata, spend it on the titles and the thumbnails, because those are the things which are the bigger problem if you're not getting them right. Descriptions is like the tiniest cherry on top. And I think the most important thing with descriptions is including links when you're selling stuff like products, courses, making sure that you're monetizing what you're offering in the videos.
I think that that's one of the biggest reasons they're still around. Because like with the way that the algorithm can read what videos are, if that's all the description was for, we wouldn't have descriptions anymore.
If I was to offer another suggestion about descriptions, I do use them for timestamping because I always timestamp my videos to do like a final check of the video to make sure there's no mistakes before publishing it. But beyond that,
if we were in a world where YouTube took away descriptions, they would take away our ability to create chapters as well. Because they would just be like, well, the algorithm is good enough. It knows what the chapters are.
and it doesn't do a good job of that typically.
No, definitely not.
All right, Dan, what we got?
Alden Fowler Gaming. They've got almost 4,000 subscribers, 461 videos. And on their forum, they said their biggest obstacle is packaging. They want to entertain and inform when it comes to RPG games like Souls-likes. And what part of your channel do you want us to focus on? What could be stopping the click? And if the videos flow well in the first 30 seconds.
Gotcha.
So 2 things. What's stopping people from clicking? And do your videos do well in terms of their flow in the first 30 seconds? So, yeah, I have the videos page pulled up. Do Souls games actually have a story? Okay, so here's what stops my click on this. Now, I don't play a lot of Souls games, any Souls games. I'm kind of a baby. So Elden Ring, stuff like that, not for me. However, I would say that anyone who is watching your channel does play Souls games. And this is a question I assume they feel like they know the answer to already. And one that I don't understand myself. Like, if this was about a niche that I liked, you know, I like Mario Kart. Does Mario Kart have a story? I don't know. I feel like I would know the answer. Like, no. You know, there's a campaign, but there's no story. So I would keep scrolling. I'd be like, well, no, it doesn't. So I I don't know. I think this could have been pitched a different way because you say, "Where's the lore?" Like, you know, you could talk about how the story is deeper than you think or something like that. But this question, I feel like, is not that deep. I think the audience for your content would look at this and go, "Yeah," they just keep scrolling. They're like, "Yep, it does," or "No, it doesn't," and they would just keep going.
Just scroll down a tiny bit down. I want to see the view counts on that Stray thumbnail because I thought it was a really good thumbnail. My general observations are that the thumbnails are quite flat, many of them, apart from that Stray one. And what I mean by that is everything is in the foreground. So, like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be looking at first. And I think there's a lack of branding consistency. So, that from one thumbnail to the next, you don't necessarily know it's the same creator. So, maybe they have to almost do a double take to make sure that it is from, this creator I've seen previously. Those are my quick observations. I don't think this kind of bordering around the edges is enough in terms of familiarity with the thumbnails.
Yeah. Some of them are it's just like the games are changing a lot. And like this is Elden Ring, but it's like a more hand-drawn thumbnail, which isn't a bad thing. It's just without I have to read the title to know this is Elden Ring. And I think with hand-drawn thumbnails, it still needs to have some kind of like IP attached to it where people can recognize it immediately. Now I just took a pinned a comment because I was going to say this as well. Someone in our chat pointed out, I may have developed ADHD playing this in that game. That could be worded a lot different instead of generalizing ADHD or any other type of mental problem / illness. That was something that I was going to bring up as well, is that people with ADHD probably don't appreciate that. And that's something to be aware of. Like just when you're titling videos, not to bring this into a big debate or anything, consider the general audience, and things like that.
Just to add, I have ADHD and I don't care, but I may have developed. I don't speak for the ADHD community. I don't find it something to be sensitive about, I guess. But that title alone is not very interesting, regardless. So I just wanted to point out that video ideas. You also have. Well, did you develop it from Stray? Because if not, then that's clickbait. Elden Ring players have been healing wrong this whole time. Okay, I have to click to know the right way. Pretty clear. I may have developed ADHD platinuming Stray. I don't know you, so I don't care. Like, that doesn't... that's why that... Like, it's a great thumbnail. That one sticks out more than anything else, like Rob said. There's depth and simplicity to it. It's perfect. Besides the text, path to 100, I don't care about that either. Like, you have to be clear about the stakes or the value that you're offering, and you're very clear in the Elden Ring one, but the Stray one is more like, this is for my community, and that's okay too. I just wanted to point out that that's the difference there.
I think the title, if you literally have ADHD, the title should have been, my ADHD made platinuming Stray 100 times harder, or something to that effect, or easier, or whatever it might be, whatever you felt, because that's more like honest and it makes more sense. But I think people don't know you yet, so they don't, you know what I mean? So they're like, oh, you're saying that gave you ADHD. That's a little weird. And that's the problem. So, but that and the thumbnail as well, as John pointed out, path to 100. I think there's definitely like, we're on the cusp of something here in terms of a clear packaging.
And I think John needs to get another t-shirt that says, I don't know you, I don't care.
For real.
Yeah.
I have to say that a lot.
Yeah.
But it's something I feel justified in saying it because it's a hard lesson I had to learn.
Yeah, you understand it if you're a content creator who's gone through that pain. Are we going to do we want to watch one of these for like a 10 seconds, 20 seconds, or do you think they're going to have to work with here? All right, let's do this quickly, and then I think we're going to have to do like a quick fire round of audits.
Okay.
Are you tired of this? Well, have you ever thought that maybe you've been doing the whole healing thing wrong? Want to see something like this that can be repeated easily 45 times with only 23 mind? Well, sit back, like the video, and subscribe, and I'll let you know how you will never need red Kool-Aid for anything other than the accidental torrent deaths ever again. You know what the biggest disadvantage of using red-flavored potions are?
Okay, so 26 seconds in, bit of an intro.
I saw John shaking his head there. What? Do you disapprove or?
Oh yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten anything from this video. Why would I like and subscribe?
Oof.
Mm.
Oof. Well, my sound effect wasn't working.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
I found the intro kind of entertaining. Effort put into some beams and some jokes.
Maybe deserving of a like. I don't know. It's like when I think of crafting an intro, you just took up like a whole sentence worth of time by saying something that will pretty rarely get any results. It's something that you want to put at the end. So yeah, I mean, people don't give stuff a whole lot of time to decide. And if you're talking like and subscribe rather than like here's more additive value, then yeah, you risk people leaving.
All right, Dan, I think we've got a tiebreaker here. Did you think the hook intro was good or bad?
I don't think the subscribe thing needed to be called out so early, but I will say that
Yeah.
I was more distracted by like the things popping up on the screen, like the transitions are a little distracting, and then
They were a bit Windows Movie Maker 2.3 them, yeah, I will admit them. Old-fashioned.
then like I don't know why this is on the screen based on what was being said at the time of the video. Like there's a lot of like the swipes are really distracting, and it's like I like the sound effects and stuff you used, but this one was a little more clear, I guess, with the health bars and stuff, but it's just a little too much movement in ways that I don't love. It's if you were to get rid of the animated transitions and just zoom in, like hard cut zoom in to the things that you want me to focus on, that'd be a little bit easier. I'd be able to follow you more, but I'm trying to like get my eyes around what you're showing me and then sliding away. And then there's a bonk and there's just a little I don't know. I wouldn't normally levy that criticism, but it's because I'm trying to listen to what you're saying and focus on the screen. And it maybe if I understood Elden Ring, I will give you that. If I understood Elden Ring, maybe I would be a little more like, oh, okay, got it. But I'm very, very lost. And I've watched plenty of videos on games that I've never played before. So, I do think we've left this creator with some interesting tips. Good luck to you. Thank you for submitting your channel. And yeah, Rob, you were saying we needed kind of quick fire.
Yeah, I think we should do some fast audits here. So I've got my alarm thing that I'm gonna set to 2 minutes for each time we load up a channel. How does that sound? 2-minute channel audits.
Okay.
See if we can get through a few.
All right, let me get my keyboard back from my cat. And wow, this is really difficult. The cat is sitting where I put my fingers to do Control C, Control V.
Done. Sorting out.
Okay, well, that worked. I got my space back. Thank you. All right, so Epic Lens Studios.
2 minutes, go.
John, go.
I don't know what any of this is about. It looks like games sometimes, but then I don't know what this is. Sorry.
Are they clips from shows?
It said music in the form, but I don't get that from any of this.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, there's music. Okay, hold on. We don't know where the music comes from. The form says they want to share your music, story, future project with the world.
So is it their music?
Okay, click through it and watch time, and then interconnecting content. They want us to focus on interconnecting content? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, those aren't words. Original soundtrack. I'm seeing that.
So is this their music that they've put together or from different sources? Because I'm seeing a bit of a lack of consistency here.
Yeah, I'm having that trouble as well. It sounded like they said they want to share their music, like that they made.
But the title suggests that it's not their music.
Film clips music? That could be. In that case,
he's saying there's music going on while playing film clips. I think that's what that was.
Okay.
This channel.
Hold on. Let me lower it a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll play a little bit.
Yeah. We'll talk over it so we don't get.
Okay, so I'm going to skip a little bit. It looks like it stays on. It's not that we have a lot of clips. It's one clip.
And just quickly look at the description. Yeah. So it's posting original soundtracks from elsewhere. So it looks as if it's not even their content.
Okay.
At all. So the danger is here. Who owns this? and what makes you unique to anybody else who could be uploading this content. That's your 2 minutes up for that channel audit.
All right. Let's do another non-gaming real quick.
All right.
Number 90. Tilly's Adventures. They're doing okay. The goal
Bowling. Was this
vlog.
10-pin bowling? Oh, I used to 10-pin bowl all the time.
Targeted niche. That's their biggest obstacle. Creating thumbnails and titles for unknown results of the vlog. That's what they want us to focus on. Okay, so they don't know what the result is going to be when they're actually filming the vlog.
Oh, it's 10-pin bowling. Oh, right.
I mean, if you're filming it live, I guess I understand that. But if you have it afterwards, then you already know the results, right?
Right. Maybe it's because they know we can't tell them, well, you have to plan your title and thumbnail ahead of time. But I would say, what if you were focused on a goal and like that way, like, can I bowl a perfect game? Now you're going to the bowling
You can't just
alley.
ask somebody about that. Do you realize how hard that's to do? 12 strikes, 300.
So
come on.
You're on your way to the bowling alley. You already know in your mind you're going to attempt to, how many attempts before you bowl a perfect game, and then the video ends with you just on the floor crying.
Yep. If you approach it that way and you have like the story set out where you know what the stakes are, that will be more interesting than just a vlog. But I understand why that's difficult because you're kind of like filming what is happening. So yeah.
I think my question is, what's your target audience? Is it other perhaps professional bowlers? Because I think they talk about the PBA, which is the Professional Bowlers League. So if that is your intended target, then obviously it's going to be a smaller niche. But at the same time, everybody on the planet has casually been 10-pin bowling once. And that means there is a potentially huge audience to create interesting things like Do Perfect will take 10-pin bowling, make something widely accessible about it. So has the creator made that decision about if they want it to be attract a really wide audience, or it's going to be really refined to I guess, hundreds of thousands of regular 10-pin bowlers, which I feel as if that's what they're currently doing, which means that it's going to have a lower audience. That said, the view counts are fairly consistent, so I think they're having a good return viewers on their content.
I didn't know what PBA was, and I don't know what the Wolf Challenge is. And if we want a wider audience, I think you have to break through that. It needs to be clear to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was seeing animal patterns and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what this stuff means.
Time's up.
All right. We'll do a gaming channel. 173.
One of those said unveiling tonight's secret pattern, and that was interesting. And that one had the most views, I do believe. Something to consider.
Okay, their goal is they want a little community. They want us to focus on their editing.
All right, 2 minutes starting.
All right, Stumble Guys in 2025.
I am playing Stumble Guys in the Big 25.
Why then are we listening to the Super Mario Dolphino music in the background?
Everyone uses that. I don't know.
I love that music, but it's got nothing to do with Sonic.
That's okay.
Oh.
Nah.
Why the fuck do you play Stumble
Oh,
Guys?
come on.
It's shit.
Well,
come on. Come on now.
Oh, God.
You know those rules about monetization on
Yeah.
YouTube? If you swear too early in your video,
Was that in the first 7 seconds?
Probably.
Pow! Demonetized.
Also, the audio needs to be edited faster. Yes, the whole thing was too slow. It looks like you're putting effort into the video. We don't appreciate being sworn at so much, I guess. I now I don't want to play the audio, but I don't know why I should care about you playing this in 2025. Like, I get that it's an older game, but the intro didn't tell me, like,
this is a Fall Guys knockoff, then, is it?
Yeah, it did pretty well. The intro of this just didn't tell me much at all, and that's, I don't know, for a new viewer, that's going to be kind of an issue. I get your humor shines through a little bit, but it's, I don't know. I was struggling with that one.
Like, this is why people are playing Stumble Guys in 2025 is that's what gets people to click. Like, oh, okay, there's something that you're going to teach me in this. Right. It makes me make me feel like, should I be playing this in 2025? That's like where you want to go with it.
And that's a different hook too. Like, I can't believe how active this game is in 2025. I picked it up because I just got an itch to play it, and here we are. And I know that you could do that in your own style. Swearing is bad. It is. But yeah, my point is that intro and that title that John suggested could have been way more engaging. And I think that's a good place to start and probably end because we're probably out of time now.
Sonic, Minecraft, Undertale, Stumble Guys. Those are the last 4 videos. Different games. So,
Different games, maybe similar, like
usual
maybe
challenge.
crossover there a little bit, but yeah, maybe commit to a through line of some kind on your channel. Like, is it going to be a game? Is it going to be the way you play the games? Minecraft, but it's April Fool's. What's the build? Show me.
Let's go down. We're done. 2 minutes done. Let's go.
Oh, you didn't
Move
say.
on. I did. Well, I showed you the timer.
I didn't see it. I'm looking at the channel.
All right.
All right.
All right. Let's not fall out over this.
I'll never speak to you again. Okay. I don't know how to say that name. They said they want to grow and be famous as a person. Their biggest obstacle is the YouTube algorithm, and the difference. They want us to focus on the difference of content and the quality of videos. All right.
2 minutes starts now.
Okay, we'll ignore the first video there.
What's that? Why have we gone uncensored and uncut all of a sudden?
I don't know.
Well, we can't really click on one of the videos then, can we?
I found $1 million. I don't believe you. Is kind of a problem I have with this. I'm not trying to be funny. Like it's clearly a Photoshop thing. Like it's just kind of like, Going all in on YouTube was the scariest decision of my life. That's interesting. But I have the first frame of the thumbnail. I don't know what it is. And the second frame is a mansion, which I think, again, like, I don't know. It's obviously kind of a meme. So I don't feel like I'm relating to you. What's everyone else's feeling when they look at this?
It feels like a creator who has some entertainment / comedy chops in them, and they're trying to figure out what might be the best way to share their stories / skits on YouTube, which I think is perfectly fine. I think comedy and entertainment is always a hard topic to break into because you're kind of not using anybody else's IP, so to speak. You can't rely on a popular topic, culture, brand, whatever. It is you are front and center, and that can be really challenging. So I kind of applaud them for kind of going out on YouTube alone, so to speak, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, if we assume comedy, it makes a little more sense, but I still feel like the thumbnails aren't giving me the right vibe.
Okay.
That's a personal thing. But I found $1 million. I don't know. I kind of feel like if this was shot in a normal setting of you looking on the ground and there was like, maybe a crudely drawn $1 million on the ground, or I don't know, that would be a little more engaging to me.
We can't watch an intro due to the
fear. It feels a little gamey. Like,
oh, I'm sorry, John. I meant to take away the screen. Go ahead. Why'd you do that?
Why are you doing? Oh, come on!
It's savage.
So, John, you were going to say something?
I said it felt a little gamey, but that's all. That was it.
All right. So, well, I guess that was it. That was channel reviews for the week. Any final thoughts?
I would say it was a pleasure having you on, John. I love it when there's like an extra voice in a room with new perspectives, and like the 3-way conversation is very entertaining. So you are more than welcome to return for future streams.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, likewise. I would love to see John come back. What do we do? John, tomorrow you're streaming, right?
No, I'm not streaming this week.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Everyone's off the hook then. We have a video going out tomorrow?
I don't know. You're in charge, John.
Oh, okay.
You should have thought about this before you started asking questions about what content's going on.
Yeah, well, John threw me a curveball. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess you're just going to have to check our channel tomorrow to see if we did anything. And, check with us throughout the week. We have stuff going up all the time. Speaking of comedy, by the way, we have a video that just went out. Noah Grossman from Smosh came onto the channel and gave tips about starting a comedy channel. So that's a very recent video. You can go check that out if you fancy yourself a comedian on YouTube. And really good tips in there, stuff that we don't normally cover because we don't get to hang out with a lot of people that are stars on a comedy channel. So it's pretty cool. All right. Well, cool. I got to promo something. I feel good now. Everybody wave goodbye, and I will. When do we get the Thrustmaster shirt? You probably don't. I don't know. I don't know where they're available.
There's so many legal loopholes we'll have to jump around to get them on.
Savage will send you one.
$39.95 every 5 minutes, I think.
Yep. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
It's like a SAS t-shirt. Like every 5 minutes you wear it, you've got to pay $39.95.
Yeah, it's actually
So
cheaper.
John, you've got a big bill coming your way. I don't know.
$25.95. You just keep it in a drawer.
All right.
Yeah, it's a subscription model.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Toodaloo.